Ooh. Chapter 1115. It's finally here, guys. We're continuing on with the story. So, last chapter, if I recall, we got to continue more on to with Vegapunk's announcement. We had like a lot of different reactions. We got a few folks down in Ennie's lobby. We got a few folks like reacting over at a place that's already been flooded and struggling to maintain what they have. Even the world government itself, the Navy, is bewildered, including the Kainu. Even the fishmen in Ryugu Kingdom is like, what is going on here? And then under that, I know they were protecting Robin, and then they left. Not they. The Straw Hats were protecting Robin from Saturn's assault, and then like with Vegapunk still continuing the announcement, it caused even Saturn to like stray from his current objection and just scurried off to try to destroy the remaining island to get rid of whatever trace of the message that is still broadcasting by Vegapunk. It was nice, and then they got into, I think Saturn got into the Mother's Flame, or yeah, I think Saturn got into the Mother Flame, and he's trying to destroy the items around it. I don't know what the Mother Flame is. I think they're going to talk about it this chapter, as well as another thing that got people's attention was the fact that some of the celestial dragons were bewildered by the news that and the prediction that Vegapunk is speaking about, which is interesting. But what's also interesting is that and I said it last stream that that it was most likely like the younger generation of the celestial dragons that don't know. Meanwhile, the older generation is like spewing slurs and like curses at Vegapunk for uttering such a word and for him to set his trap. The Straw Hats were recovering from the assault of Saturn, and I believe one of the Vegapunks extended the clouds far enough in a sacrifice by extending the clouds so that the Straw Hats can easily just land their Thousand Sunny on to just straight to sea, probably past the world government too. And then it just ends with the Luffy still fighting the Gyatso, I believe, the boar yokai with the giants, and it's still causing one of the attacks caused Luffy to like do something goofy, and the giants was laughing. But what was announced last chapter to finish off like a break for like 2 weeks was that Joy Boy and the Sun God Nika were two separate entities, and that Joy Boy was the first pirate. So we're gonna continue on with the chapter 1115 and see what happens. I have a feeling we're either gonna see the flashback of Joy Boy, or we're just gonna continue on with Vegapunk's announcement and learn more about Joy Boy while the Straw Hats is trying to get their shit together. So anyway, let's continue on. One Piece, One Piece, chapter 1115, Continental Fragments. Uh, Last chapter, I believe Yamato was talking to Kinemon about what she needs to do in order to follow Oden's footsteps, and I think right now she's chilling with Hiyori and Okutsu, I believe. No, not Okutsu. Otako. Her name is. Um, let's see the caption. Only Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 5. Getting a bento from Hiyori and Otako. Or Otoko. No, it's Otako. So yeah, they're preparing a beanie for Yamato. I believe for her journey across Wano. So that's nice. So as it seems, she's still in the capital, just preparing for her journey. So it seems that this cover story is going to be quite an extensive one. I have a feeling we're probably not going to get any breaks on that story for a minute because this is going to be very interesting. Anyway, gotta respect our scan translators and team behind the translations, the early translations of One Piece chapters. And there is a author note by Oda. Edo's recent concept at the National Stadium was incredible. The world-traveling pop princess keeps outdoing herself. Oda Ichido. That's cool. I love how he's supporting folks that supports his story, and recently it's Edo who has been a part of One Piece for quite a while, ever since like I believe their collaboration, including like One Piece Red. So anyway, let's continue on. The flower capital Wano. Weren't we just talking about the cover page? Weren't we just talking about the cover page? Okay, let's see what's happening at Wano. It's hard to believe that this foreign transmission is reaching us. We found the snail in the castle among Orochi's possessions. Now, you may be wondering how he came to be known as a pirate. So you were a pirate, Joy Boy? Just like Luffy. You know of him, my lord? Okay, so it's Momonosuke. So good, we get to see Momonosuke. It felt a while since we've last seen Momonosuke, and I can't really say Kinemon because we just saw him last cover story, but now we got the ninjas. I am so garbage right now. I remember others' names like Luffy. I'm just so garbage. I know we got one of the ninja that recently, after the events of the Battle of Onigashima, she now reverted back into her like youthful state instead of I believe her. No, it's not smooth. It's like age. It's like some sort of aging. Like an aging devil fruit. I'm trying to recall, but she's there, along with her protege, the ever-loving, and I'm still forgetting her name. Hold on. Give me a second. Tama. It's Otako and Tama. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. I'm not even gonna say it's hard. It's me. I'm a mess. I'm a screw up on remembering names. So we got Tama just chilling along with I gotta remember her name too. I can't get it off of my head. I'll probably just place it in like a later edit. But yeah, most of the Wano Liege are just chilling, hearing about the news as well, which is interesting. I'm so this is Orochi's transponder snail, in that they're listening towards, which is what I believe is what Orochi was using during his like reign over Wano. So that's cool that they're using parts of something that's connected to the outside world. So you know of him, my lord. A jail cell at the G4 Navy base. Hey, remember G4? I think it's G4. The filler arc in the anime of G4. So now that's canon. Joy Boy, who cares? I bet you can beat him, right, Captain Kid? Duh, the man's already dead. That's our captain. The only thing bigger than his confidence is his belly. Yeah, I'm clearly a million times tougher than this Joy Toy. It's Joy Boy, boss. X-Fake Luffy D'Amato Black. Great to see Luffy back. Great to see Luffy back in One Piece. It's been a while since we last seen of him, you know? Exclamation point. Do bear in mind, I only have access to a handful of poneglyphs. Wait, hold on a second. Let me make some. Okay. I should have realized that sooner. That. First off, why am I recording? I'm not supposed to. I wasn't trying to record. I should have remembered that about my mic, to make sure my mic was on before I started streaming or started reading. Do bear in mind, I only have access to a handful of poneglyphs, but their combined narrative clearly chronicles an unbelievable history about a great war in the distant past. Is that what the poneglyphs was about? During that period, Joy Boy faced an enemy, the organization known as the World Government. Wait, isn't that us? Well, he did say he was a pirate. Vegapunk! Back then, they were merely the Allied Powers, a temporary coalition consisting of 20 separate kingdoms. Oh, they are just destroying everything. They are not happy. They're using, like, unknown hockey, destroying every transponder snail in their path. They are not pleased with the continuation of this news break. It can be assumed that an alliance was the only feasible way to oppose the formidable faction to which Joy Boy belonged. I'm afraid that... Are we finally going to get... Are we getting to hear about the Will of D? Is this what it's leading to? It can be assumed that an alliance was the only feasible way to oppose the formidable faction to which Joy Boy belonged. I am afraid that the cause of this conflict still eludes me, so I do not presume to judge the morality of the combatants. I can, however, say that this war was a clash of two opposing ideologies. I mentioned earlier that Joy Boy was born into a fantastical civilization. Zoe, New World. And he's just mute right now. Is he hearing what's going on? Is there is it because of the Zoe citizens, the Mink tribes listening in as well? But this is okay. I'm betting that we are leading towards the answer of the meaning of the will of D. I think this is what it's leading towards. Just because he mentioned the formidable faction to which Joy Boy belonged. One so advanced, it is hard to believe it existed over 900 years ago. And now we're seeing the citizens we're seeing the Ming tribes and the and their I think the guards. I'm gonna just say Ming tribes, but yeah, we're seeing the Ming tribes. The weapons that existed during this century-long struggle are far beyond our modern science. That's amazing. Good to see you. Good to see you, Carrot. Fee. What's that peanut fool saying? Oh, boss, you're making me hungry. Such technology is baffling to a genius such as myself. He's so big-headed. Poo. And therein lies our problem, Labostratum. Ru, gotcha. Stussy. Huh? It's me. Edison? I'm sorry, there's a weird bug that got in here and is messing around in my light. I can't ignore it. That is goddamn weird. That was a bit of a distraction. But I'm glad I got rid of it. Anyway, let's continue. Stussy. Huh? It's me. Edison? Uh-oh. Kaku's listening in. Lower the barrier and hightail it out of here. But I can't. What if something were to happen to the Straw Hat crew? I'm gonna be straight with you. There ain't no point in the barrier no more. Not when there's monsters on the island who can ignore it. We've done all we can for them. I'm sure they'll make it somehow. How much longer, Jinbei? Finally! Hold on a second. I got this up. Finally! God! It took us like 3 to 4 chapters not seeing these two. But now we're seeing Zoro and Jinbei. How much longer, Jinbei? My apologies. We're almost there. There's nothing to apologize for. We were busy. Is that you, Zoro? You're gonna get it later. Now hurry up. They're moving their ships to blockade the northeast coast. I'll never forgive you if we get blasted out of the water after all of this. Yeah, oh my gosh. They are surrounding the Elbaf giants. That's good to hear. I was worried Stella would never forgive me if I let them get caught. As if. Now get your ass out of there. But I don't know what to do with myself. Huh? Now that Stella is gone, who am I meant to live for? I have no purpose. And Kaku's reacting very differently as well. Interesting. Sad that she doesn't really serve her purpose anymore. And she was made by, I believe to be, as they stated in a recent anime, that she was made by Vegamon. So I guess that makes sense that she's really stuck in a limbo at this present time now that Stella's gone. Don't let him use his sword. This geezer can cut through anything. Sanji just got smacked. Bonnie is. Oh, I almost forgot that Bonnie is a giant. So it just looks like. It just looks like compared to Sanji, like the giants and Bonnie and the Venus. I think it's. I think it's Venus or no, it's Jupiter. I think it's Jupiter. But like I think just compare it, just the way this panel is, just makes Sanji looks like he is as big as the giants and Bonnie and Jupiter or J. Peter. Sense the living voices. He just kicked one of the giants. Bonnie, get down! Yeah. Frankie for the save. That is a close call. Holy crap! Ah. Oh. That is insane. So that slice was wide enough that it cut through the figurehead of the Elbaf ship. I'm not. I didn't go deep into the next panels, but I'm sure that the Giants is gonna be real pissed about that. That you just cut off their headgear, because Luffy gets pissed off for something like that as well. So I feel like this is gonna be very significant, maybe. But he cut off. He was trying to swing at Bonnie, but he missed. And oh yeah, okay. So Bonnie just turned into a child. Okay. Yeah, he cut off the figurehead and the tip of the pirate ship. So thank goodness that the ship wasn't entirely damaged. But I have a feeling that it's not gonna go well if he's gonna keep stuff like that up, or if the Giants is gonna retaliate very viciously. Anyway, let's continue on. I can't maintain distorted future for very long. Wheeze. The Voyage Century ended. Okay, the Voyage Century ended with Joy Boy's defeat. How much do you intend to save, Vegapunk? He's leaving? Okay, at least they're dipping out. So this should give the Straw Hats enough time to dip the hell out of here now. Just because, like, they're now distracted. There are too many life forms up here. But the aftermath had grander consequences. Oh my god. This dude just sliced the entire top of the Labostratum. What the? Uh-oh. I almost forgot about the... I'm not saying I almost forgot about the Seraphims because of the anime, but they never really talked about where the Seraphims were at. Oh. Did they release them from, like, the area where York prisoned them? Is that what happened? Because I'm just seeing, like, they're falling out of the Labostratum, the interior of the Labostratum. But that's crazy that Jupiter just, like, sliced up the entire Labostratum or Labosphere. The wake of that ancient conflict scarred the world, and those scars never healed. What the? Wow. We all know travel between islands can be excruciatingly difficult. The seas must hold on a second. I'm struggling reading it from here. We all know travel between islands can be excruciatingly difficult. The seas one must traverse are so vast and perilous. Most people are content to live and die at their place of birth, never experiencing any culture other than their own. Isn't that a bit obvious? Yeah, everyone knows the seas are dangerous. That is a common knowledge to us now. But that it wasn't like that 1,000 years ago. A cataclysmic. Oh snap! We're seeing Zoro's mentor and it's not your village. It's uh. I can recall. I just can't blurt out the name off the top of my head for some reason. But we're seeing Zoro's hometown and his master looking on, hearing the news. A cataclysmic ecological disaster occurred during the Verge century, and the ancient world was swallowed by the ocean. We are now living atop of the remnants, continental fragments of the land masses that once were. What? So you're telling me that New Adventures is about to occur undersea? Holy crap. Look at the... I need to... Hold on a second. Because I'm not stressed when I see this. This is actually insane. Oda, you just make the most beautiful... Like, we've seen him make stuff like this in the past before, but just... It never ceases to, like, give me invested in, like, what he draws. The ancient world was swallowed by the ocean. We are now living atop of the remnants, continental fragments of the land masses that once were. Alright, I'm gonna go back. Say what? Hold on a second. The world of a lament. The world of a millennia ago sleeps unseen at the bottom of the ocean. I know it's hard to believe on my word alone, but there really were multiple vast continents back then. This is insane. Hey Nojiko, where do you think you're going? The whole world is at a stake. Fill me in later. I gotta check on the tangerine orchard. Nojiko. So that was not as you just heard. It was Nojiko and the citizens of. It's not Orange Town. It is not Orange Town. It used to be a place of where All Park was. Windmill Village, I think. Hold on. Oh man. Gosha. It's Gosha Village. I'm so ass. It's been so long, and I've seen the One Piece live action like it was last year I believe, but like it's been a minute, and like memories really shit right now, especially recent events going on. Um, but yeah, we got Gosha Village just reacting to it while Nojiko is just minding her own business. She's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna just go to the Tangerine Orchard. This change in the world helps explain how a century of history could be censored. A feat that seems nigh impossible, but it makes sense when you consider the undeniable conclusion all the data points to. Within a mere century, the average sea level rose by staggering 200 meters. What? You're kidding? 200? A warship's only 60 meters tall. No wonder the old world disappeared. Hey, stop listening to this crap. We have work to do. The Seraphim and all those imprisoned Cypherpol agents were spotted falling out of the lab building. We got to rescue them. I'm gonna take a second. I need to drink. Did you hear that? His tall tales keeps getting taller. The old fart's lost his marbles. What a joke. Okay, so of course that's Mock Town looking at this. Sock of the Kingdom, Chopper's hometown. Is that really impossible? Hehehe. Even now, the world still finds a way to keep things interesting. That mountain is around 200 meters. You're saying that something that tall would be submerged? That's awful. How many people died? What village is this? This isn't Risky Peak, is it? Is this Risky Peak? Because I'm seeing like cactuses and stuff in the background. But I'm seeing a mountain, so it looks different. Maybe it's like, I believe it could be something that we haven't experienced yet, or haven't seen. But it looks familiar. It looks like Whiskey Peak with the cactuses, but I never seen a mountain in the background of the anime. Maybe I should look. Okay, hold on a second. I was about to sneeze. Holy crap. That begs the question, how and why did such a flood occur? Naturally, your first inclination might be to assume that it was some kind of natural disaster. However, I can say for certain that it was no such thing. It was man-made calamity. Shock. Okay, so this is the Galley Law. So we're back in we're back at Water 7. You can't be serious. Vivi shushed the Big News Morgans. If this catastrophe was brought about by natural means, there would be records denoting early warning signs several centuries earlier. It was a severe world-altering event after all. But all my research into meteorology, geology, ecology, and ecology, and atmospheric science confirmed that there are no such natural buildup. It is impossible for such a drastic change to happen spontaneously within the span of a mere 100 years, meaning the cause lies elsewhere. My suspicions were confirmed a few days ago when I analyzed the world's current sea levels. This will be hard to accept, but that disaster 800 years ago was caused by the ancient weapons technology capable of sinking the world, and that very same firepower evidently still exists, just waiting to be used again. I'm sorry. Let me take a bit of a breather break here because I'm very invested in what Vic Monk is saying, and he's going back to back. This is like something that you gotta shut up and just like hear what he is saying. But like even like the Gorosei is like getting pissed off. They're destroying everything. We're not seeing much, but we're seeing them like really react to this, and they're very pissed off. This will be hard to accept, but that disaster 800 years ago was caused by an ancient weapons technology capable of sinking the world, and that same firepower evidently still exists, just waiting to be used again. In other words, that great war which ravaged the world during the Void Century is still ongoing. The genius shed its light on the forgotten history. What a weird way they stopped. By the way, no break next week. Cool. But what a weird way it stopped. It's telling us that the war that shook the world during the Void Century is still going now. I feel like we already known about this of some sorts, but it's just being spoken to us. The only thing that is like news to us is the fact that like the predictions on like and like Vegapunk's thoughts about like the meters in the sea levels and what caused that to destroy the ancient fragments of the of the remaining world. I feel like this. It's weird. Like, I feel weird about this because, like, this is something I feel like we've known, and it just wasn't spoken to us in a way that is this chapter. I just felt like it was shown to us this whole time. Like when Vegapunk mentions about the continental fragments of the land masses that once were, it's showing like the undersea of the ancient towns. But I feel like we've seen stuff like that because, let's say, like for example, like in the anime, we've seen like during, let's say, Dressrosa, since Dressrosa, they showed before like the episode recap, after like after the opening and during and before the recap, you'll see like a narrator just like speaking out, talking about like what happened with Gold Roger and how he sparked the world to do the Great Pirate Era. But now, and like during that intro, you seen like underwater and treasures underwater, like something that was there. Now it's being spoken to us. Maybe it's me that I'm missing something out, but this is big. This is still big. The fact that it is telling us what has been shown to us for years on end. Because like we've seen stuff like this during Fishman Island. We've seen stuff like this happen with Sky Island, like Skypiea, where we saw the ship, like a big ass old ship, fall down on top of the Straw Hats, and they along with I forgot their name. I don't want to call them the Monkey Bros. That's gonna be that doesn't sound right. But the two brothers that had that worked with the descendant of Nolan, I believe, that was trying to find out about the Sky Island. But like we saw that they were rummaging around the ship, and there was so many ancient stuff going on there as well. And they were like, "Wow, wonder what happened there." But like now, this is being told to us by Vegapunk. This is big. The whole world is like, this is new. This is. I'm like Nojiko. I'm like, yeah, I'll check it. You fill in with me later this chapter, because this was like something that we already known, or like something that we shouldn't. I'm not gonna say shouldn't know, but this feels like no shit. Vegapunk, is this really the big deal? Like the 200 meters, based off of like the mere centuries, the like within the past mere century, like 200 meters. Like, that's news. That's news to me. That's what's shocking. Like, oh boy, like that's very freaking big. That's not good. And if it's continuing that way right now, then this isn't good. Now, I'm curious on what he's going to continue on with. Is he going to announce what the ancient weapons are? Because what I got from that is that it's still ongoing. The people using the ancient weapons are still using it, and it is what's causing the meters of water to be destroyed. And then we're seeing, like, at the end, we're seeing Mary's Joie along with, like, Emu just, like, stirring up with butterflies. And I don't know how this is reacting, but it has the JoJo sign of, like, menacing. So I guess it's pissed off. We don't know what gender Emu is, so I'm gonna just claim it as it at this present time. But yeah, it's not. This is not good. I mean, it's good on us that we're finally learning about this, but it's not good the fact that they're reacting this way. They're not happy about this. This is interesting. So we didn't really get a flashback to Joy Boy. But what we did get is right now an opportunity for the Straw Hats to get to boogie on out of here, and we're seeing more of the world reacting to Vegapunk's message. So this is big. As if it wasn't big enough, this is very big. We're seeing characters that we have encountered in the past. We've seen the Foxy Pirates. We've seen the Mink Tribe and the citizens of Zoe. We're seeing, like, we're still seeing people in Squad of 7. Even the Marines is, like, bewildered. We're also seeing, like, G4 base. G4 is the filter. Did I say filter? Filler arc, right? Let me check. So this is new. I guess this is something that we've never known. G4? Isn't that the filler? This has to be the filler. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, like, with G4, because that's an interesting one. At first, I thought it was the. I thought it was the filler location where the Straw Hats fell from after the events of Skypiea. was GA. This is G4. Okay, so I was 4 bases off. So this is G4. I guess this is something we've never known about. I'm looking at it on like others on like sources. I'm seeing that nothing is very much known about G4 base. Other than it was mentioned or known back in episode 17. Oh, what am I do? I'm an idiot. I'm looking at freaking role play or D&D. Is that like is that some sort of shout out to like the Dungeons and Dragons? Is that it? Is that what, if that is that a nod because you got the ex fake Luffy, now ex Kid, Demario Black, just in G4. That's kind of hilarious. Now that I'm looking back at it, or like looking it up, it's kind of funny. This is big. All right. I know. I have a feeling the next chapter they're gonna start trying to recover and hightail it out of here while they have a chance, because the Gorosei is now distracted. All of them, they were trying to destroy what they can in terms of their objectives, but the message that Vegapunk is now announcing and still going on is causing the Gorosei to like literally and reluctantly quit what they're doing and just make destroying whatever is broadcasting Vegapunk's message the toppest priority. That is insane. Like, dude took one swing and it cut off the top head, and it cut off the figurehead and the top portions of the ship. Luckily, it didn't destroy the sails. But if he continued on with those swings, it probably could have destroyed the ship that the Straw Hat needs to be on in order for them to escape. But that is insane. We get to see. Okay. Another thing that was big news is that with Joy Boy's defeat, the Void Century ended with Joy Boy's defeat, but the aftermath had grander consequences. The wake of the ancient conflict scarred the world, and those scars never healed. I mean, they killed two birds with one stone. I have a feeling that the Goroseis are going to try to command the Seraphims now that they just cut open the Labosphere or Labostratum, which is probably not going to be good because Stella is dead now, unless, and most of the Vegapunks is like far off in the island, and I don't think they're fast enough to make contact with the Seraphims. So this might not be good in terms of next chapter, what happens next. But yeah, the Seraphims and the CP agents are now free. I guess one of the Gorosei is just attempting to like destroy anything that is connected to the broadcaster snail, but it's still not working. I'm just trying to plan on what's happening next before like I decide to like finish the chapter off with reading comments. This has been a back-to-back eye-opener of chapters. What threw me for the loop is the fact that, like, well, of course, Joy Boy would have like a crew, but Vegapunk said something very, very interesting, that formidable faction to which Joy Boy belonged. Which means I have a feeling, is Joy Boy like a leader to the faction, or is he part of the faction that is like, that doesn't have a leader, like freaking who's like Rox D Zebek? But then that poses the real thing on which, like, is Joy Boy and the formidable faction to which he belonged, is that what predated, or the first group that caused that, like, is this faction what spread it to be known as the Will of D, is what I want to know. Is this the faction that caused the spread of the Will of D? Let me not say spread, but like, that caused the Will of D to be born among that. It's because of Joy Boy's death. It's even showing, like, in Vegapunk, with Vegapunk talking about it, like, there are, I believe, kings with cursed marks going against Joy Boy. Joy Boy was born into a fantastical civilization. Could it have been the Buccaneers? Could it have been the Buccaneers, or is it something else? Is it something that, is it like maybe someone from the Mary Joie? Because when you think about it, because, like, it's a it's a fantastical civilization, and Bonnie is able to have this ability, and we don't even think it's a devil fruit. I don't think it's a devil fruit, because she came back and she was just using her powers as she was growing up. And we first met Bonnie, like, as a baby, when she came back, when Who's came back. I forgot her name, but geez, that hurts my head just remembering, because that's been a while. It's been like 6 months since I last talked about that. Not talked, but that character was. I'm just, like, intrigued, like. Okay, that's a bot. I'm gonna ignore that. I'm just bewildered. Now, of course, he's gonna talk about the ancient weapons. But is he going to announce to us what weapons the world government has in their possession? And if so, I have a feeling okay. Poseidon is Shirahoshi. Uranus, I think they have Uranus. Hold on, now I gotta look. It's been a minute since I've talked about the ancient weapons. Pluton, Uranus, and Poseidon. Pluton is the ship that Frankie and the mayor of whatchamacall of Water 7, and the Galley Law, he has they have the knowledge of Pluton. But then again, was Pluton still made, or is it already, or is the did I say Going Merry? R.I.P. Going Merry. But is the Thousand Sunny Pluton? We know Poseidon is Shirahoshi. Pluton may be the Thousand Sunny, and Uranus definitely is in the hands of the world government. Because Because Vegapunk is saying that they are using ancient weapons that caused the end of the Void Century, even though it's still going. I'm curious on what's gonna happen with Stussy and Kaku, because Kaku's in a ball in the way that the Seraphim is, so I don't think he can get out. Maybe we haven't seen Rob Lucci, so maybe he's gonna try to catch Kaku and kill Stussy. I don't know. Oh wow, that's nice. The snow rabbits are now helping the Sakura Kingdom. That's very nice. Either that or some of them can be domesticated. We never know, because I believe in I believe during I'm trying to recall what arc they call, but the man, I'm just bad at remembering things today. Drum Island. Because, like, back during Drum Island, we saw the Straw Hats, particularly Nami, Zoro, and Luffy, just, like, rushing through, and most of the Snow Rabbits were just, like, wild and I wouldn't even say wild, because they had some skills, but, like, they were living out in the woods, and they were very volatile to any trespassers just going past them, I believe. And just seeing one, like, helping out with the Sakura Kingdom is, like, it's very nice. Very nice that very change of pace to the island. The world is changing even without Luffy's appearance, but his influence is making the change for the better, and I like that. Except for Mogtown. Fuck Mogtown. they'll never change. I love how VB like hushed Big News Morgan's while he's like blowing a gasket over this. Like first you taking like my job. Well, you might take away my job just because you invented this new media broadcast um, outside of how I normally do things with just paper. Now using technology, I can't top you on that. And even if I did, I'll be under you because now I have to use the technology that you have invented, and there's nothing I can do about that. And so I'm a little salty on that. You can't be serious. You shut up. He's speaking. That's funny. I mean, all I can guess for next chapter is just like Vegapunk is still gonna continue on. He's probably gonna announce the weapons, the ancient weapons that the world government has, and it's gonna be Uranus because it's not Pluton, and it's not Poseidon. So it's definitely gonna be Uranus that he's gonna announce. But I'm curious on if he's gonna describe what Uranus looks like, and is that ancient weapon like? I'm sure the ancient weapon is gonna be very artistic, and Oda's is gonna go balls to the wall in making like a double page spread on what it is, as it's gonna be hovering over freaking Egghead, because that's probably their last resort at this point, and that's gonna be freaking wild. Because like with the last panel we're seeing Emu, and last time we see most time we see Emu, some real stuff is like goes down, and like same thing happens when like Emu is using like Uranus on like Fuchsia Village as an example. I believe it's Fuchsia Village that Emu and the world government destroyed. But I think it's like interesting that freaking the world, the members and lackeys of the world government is like just in shock and like confused as the entire world is. Just as last chapter, the young celestial dragons was bewildered at the events being spoken to, while others just laugh. By the way, does Foxy got like a beard? Does he have like a facial feature going on here? That is weird. That looks weird. Now I know he. Now it's sad that he really hit rock bottom. It's really sad seeing that. But I'm not sure if like someone drew a mark on his face or yeah. I just can't tell. That's weird. Okay, so next chapter, Luffy and the Giants probably gonna make it onto the ship because they're currently being chased by the Ox, Gorosei. I don't know what's gonna happen to Stussy and Kaku, but I feel like Rob Lucci's gonna jump in and do something because he doesn't want to leave his boy hanging there. I guess the Giants and Bonnie and Sanji's gonna recover the Straw Hats and Co that are like nearby the ship, and yeah, nearby their respective ships, including the Elbaf ship. They're gonna try to recuperate for a bit and just like try to boogie on the heck out of there. I believe next chapter we're gonna see what the Straw Hats on top of the Lapis Stratum is gonna do. especially now that it got cut in half. So I'm not sure which way that the the Thousand Sunny is gonna fall into. Especially since I don't think the Straw Hats is in the ship. They're literally just trying to catch your breath. So I guess we're gonna catch up with them next chapter, trying to see how they get out of this situation. Though it's not the first time of them falling from multiple meters from high up, But seeing them without their ship is gonna be very new. So yeah, the whole Straw Hat crew is trying to boogie on out to either their ship to the sea, past the past the Navy fleet, or just make it to Elbaf, to the Elbaf ship. And Luffy and Co is doing the same thing. So that's dope. Really a lot to think about, but I feel like this is something that we already known and was speculated for years on end. It's just finally being spoken to us, and it's great to know that it's being spelled to us. And I feel like that's what Oda knows. So he's like, you know what? Let me just drop this in here as a little bit of a breather of sorts for those that were really laying into me. Let me just spell it out for them, do it out for them. But I feel like something is very in that he's gonna drop next chapter or so. But knowing that the Great War is still going is great. I feel like that was already known. And it's weird that it makes me think of what Kaido said and what he was trying to do. Because he's trying to find the One Piece. Does he know what's going on? Did he know what was going on? He wanted to take over the world. He was a little short-minded because he wanted to take control of Onigashima, then get the One Piece. But if he knew what was going on here then he does now. Then we do now. Is that would that make a difference to his perspective, or is this what he was looking for from the get-go? Because they're talking about the Great War, and Kaido did want a Great War. So did he study behind this? Are we going to see Kaido in the past during stuff like this going on? That's going to be interesting. But before we end the stream here, there's something I got to announce. I probably announced it on Discord, but I got to announce it here. A lot of personal stuff going on right now. I'm going to be doing a lot of moving around. So I do not know if I will continue doing streams, especially for those that are expecting me to finish out my Splatoon 3, and Splatoon 3 side order DLC, and at least the story. To finish out Splatoon 3 DLC side order story, and to finish out the Ali Ali world, which I believe I'm in my second state / part of the island so far. So that's second to third. So that's not so yeah, I'm kind of very behind, but I just want to let you the viewers know that if you don't hear from me, especially when the new chapter comes out, this is why. Got a lot of moving around to do, a lot of changes, gonna probably be in a different location. I do intend on trying to make time for streaming, But as I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of moving around. So preparations for my setup gear is going to take a minute. So that's also something to take account to. And yeah, so I'm just going to be doing a lot of moving around. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. But I do want to continue this because I do love doing what I do at this present time, to react and to entertain by sharing my experiences, whether it be a fish out of water or something that I enjoy and that is currently going. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about this chapter. This was a lot to. I wouldn't say to me it didn't feel like a lot, but this was a lot going on in this chapter, and it looks like it's going to be a lot more, considering that the Gorosei hasn't found the transponder snail to destroy yet. So looking forward to that stuff. But until then, till further notice, till further updated on Discord or any of my other platforms that you see on any of my platforms. It could be whether it be Discord, Instagram, Twitter, or shoot, even YouTube. I'll keep it updated for if I make another video or an update. But until then, I will see you guys next time. But until then, laters.